Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Thanks again for stopping by. So I wanted to do a video today. These are my top 5 best beginner kayaks for under $1,000. These are all US made kayaks. They're all rotomolded, so they're all one-piece construction. Not going over big box store kayaks or anything, and there's a reason for that. So number 5 is going to be the Perception Tribe 9.5. So, or the Tribe series, I should say. They sell this in a 9.5. They sell it in an 11.5 foot version, and they also sell it in a tandem 13.5. I'll put the specs there on the screen for you to take a look at. But the Tribe series, they're really well. They do really well on moving water, on calm flat water. The performance of the boat is kind of what surprises a lot of people. So it's in that little bit of a mid to lower tier price point, but you're getting a lot of performance out of there. It's got that really nice rocker to it. You can kind of see that banana shape on the boat. That gives you a really nice turning kayak. It's going to turn quickly. It's very beginner friendly. So it's got a real nice keel line on the front that helps cut through the water. So you're going to get a quicker paddle performance out of that. And at a $6.99 price point for the 9.5, it will accommodate a taller paddler. If you're a little bit on the heavier side and you want a little bit more weight capacity, the 9.5 has a 300-pound weight capacity. The 11.5 has that higher weight capacity, so if you're taller and bigger like me, you may prefer that 11.5. But definitely a good choice for someone that wants a throw-and-go kayak. It only weighs 48 pounds on the 9.5, so it's light, throw-and-go, good for car topping. And also, they're not extremely expensive, so if you're looking for more than one kayak, definitely a good option there. The seat folds all the way back into the tank well, so they're really good for stacking as well if you got more than one of them. But definitely a good choice at number 5. So at number 4, same company, different style kayak. So this is the Perception kayak again, but this is the Pescador Pro series. So the Pescador Pro series has been around for a long time. Many of you may already know about it, but the kayak, the 10-footer comes in at $919. Again, I'll put the specs there on the screen for you to take a look at. So this is the 10-footer. They do sell it in a 12-footer, which you see here. The 12-footer comes in at $1,099, but the 10-footer is really good for your rivers and creeks, your calm flat water as well. It's got that nice frame seat in it. So this is one of those kayaks that's kind of on the lower end of your frame seat, kayak price point. But this is for somebody that wants to do maybe a little bit more fishing as well as recreational floating, creek and river fishing, maybe taking 1 or 2 rods, maybe taking some Plano boxes with you. You have the open covered deck. This one does have your transducer mount underneath. So if you are running a depth finder, you're going to be able to do that on this kayak. Really fast paddling, but a really comfortable seat. If you're familiar with the Perception Outlaw, this is the same seat that's on the Outlaw. It's just on a little bit more manageable and maneuverable kayak. Really nice tank well in the back. So again, a 13 by 13 Black Pack Pro will fit perfectly in there. You've got a high-low setup. You've got a little storage box here that opens right up. That's also where you can store like a small Naqua lithium battery and then have your display like a Garmin Striker 4. But really good value. Nice adjustable foot pegs. You do have gear track on the sides there for accessory mounting. But one of the best kayaks for as far as a value side of it for a really long time. I've floated these on the Buffalo River here locally. Again, really maneuverable. So it's a lighter kayak, a good throw and go, what I would call a good throw and go, kind of a mid-level fishing kayak. Okay, so number 3, again, this is one that I really loved this year. I've taken it out a few times. Customers have really loved this kayak. It's taken off really well, like I thought it would here. So it's the Kiawa series from Liquid Logic. They sell it in a 12-foot version, which you see here for $9.99. and the 10.5-foot version for $949. Now, I'm going to put the Kiawa, both of those Kiawas in this same place because, again, it's the same kayak, just different length. It just depends on what you need the kayak to do. The 12-footers are going to be good for your bigger moving water, your bigger, wider rivers, some narrower creeks and narrower alleyways there. You're going to like that 10.5 really nicely because it's going to be able to turn a lot quicker. But this one here, the paddle performance is amazing. It cuts to the water really nice. It's very beginner friendly because it's very stable. The bottom is really flat where the seat position is. You've got a really nice keel line here. It comes up to a nice point. Got that nice rocker to it. So what it allows you to do, having that flatter spot in the middle, it allows you to float over some really, really shallow water. The 12-foot carries a 350-pound weight capacity on it as well. So again, us bigger guys, the way the water has been here in the south, we've been pretty dry. The waters have been pretty low. That has kind of been the star there because, again, I'm not dragging so much in some really shallow water. Me, at about 260 pounds, I can float in about 6 to 8 inches of water in this kayak and not have to worry about dragging. Again, you could still fish from these kayaks, but this is really meant as a recreational floater. You've got a little bit of a gear track here. You got a little bit of a storage pod. Nice open storage here, and the bow of the boat kind of slants downwards, so when you do get water in it, it's going to drain right back out into those scupper holes. Really, really great kayaks for a really great price. But anyways, guys, so number two, also by a Perception kayak here. This is the Outlaw 11.5. So the Outlaw has always been a really popular boat in their lineup because there's a lot of features packed into this kayak. So again, it's 11.5 foot. It's extremely stable. This is probably one of the most stable boats on the market. Now, I will say one thing though, because of all that stability, it does sacrifice your maneuverability. So it is going to be a little bit of a battleship in the water. This is not for somebody that needs to cover a great distance on calm flat water or even some slow moving rivers, but really, really stable, which a lot of people love that about it. The price on the Outlaw as of right now is $929. You can see it in a lot of areas. A lot of people run sales on them. We've got them on sale right now for $7.99. So it's a really good value. You do have double barrel rod holders on both sides of the seat. So it'll hold 4 rods as it sits right now. Nice open deck space, nice padding on that deck, keep you quiet. It's a nice cool place to sit your feet. You'll notice you don't have the molded in footrest or the adjustable foot pegs. You do have these pads sitting right here. They're padded there. That's kind of somewhere you can put your feet up to brace for your paddling. Keep in mind though, the fixed position seat. So some of you taller guys, that may get a little more uncomfortable because you may have a little bit too much of a knee bend. You do sit up really high in this kayak, but you do have also a really large tank well, really good storage capacity at 425 pounds. The boat weighs 70 pounds, so keep that in mind. And it is pretty bulky. So if you're car topping or if you have limited options as far as hauling a kayak, always keep that in mind with your boat weight. But always been a popular boat because this is kind of when you start getting a little bit of the fishing kayaks. It's got the same seat you see as the Pescador Pro, but a little bit more of a lake water setup there. All right, last but not least, I have number one, in my opinion, that $1,000 or under price point. I have the Jackson Bite series. So the Bite does come in 2 different series. This is the Recreational series. They do have the Angler Edition. The Angler Edition runs $100 more. The biggest difference is the Angler Edition has the flush mount rod holders installed on the back, and they come in Jackson's Fishing Lineup series color schemes. So that's your forest camos. You know, Jackson actually changes their color schemes every year, but this is called Rad. It's got a little bit of a pinkish purple, black and yellow. And they also had Cloud 9, which is kind of just looks like a sky. It's white, blue, and some different shades of blue in there. But the reason I like this kayak is, again, the weight capacity of 400 pounds. The boat only weighs 69 pounds without the seat, about 74 with the seat on it, as you see here. but the boat maneuvers a lot better than a lot of boats that size. So just for example, the Outlaw 11.5, they're the same length. They're very similar in the width. You get a little bulkier kayak with the Outlaw, but the bite, it's nimble, it's smooth underneath. You're gliding over the top of the water instead of pushing through it, so you get a lot less resistance in the water and a lot better paddle performance. I'm also a really big fan of any kayak that you can trim the seat forward and backward. That allows you to trim your weight, trim your load on your kayak. If you're on moving water, move it all the way back. It brings the bow of the boat up and allows that boat to kind of maneuver a little quicker. If you want it to track better, you move the seat forward. Or if you've got a pretty good load in the back there, moving it forward, it kind of levels your weight out, more boat in the water. It's going to track a lot better that way. So Jackson Kayak does sell accessories where you can mount trolling motors on the back of these. It's got an accessory plate. And then Yak Gadget actually makes a trolling motor transom mount, molded in handles on the front and back, so it's really good for securement on your trucks, your trailers, even your car top. But the seat's kind of the star of the show there too. In addition to the stability, you can take the seat off, you can throw it up on the shore, you can use it as a camp chair or a beach chair if you're just taking a break on a long float. So you get a lot of bang for your buck again on this boat, but one of the best values on the market. It's still under that $1,000 price point. Jackson does it up right. Their weight capacities are very conservative in my opinion. So again, this will handle a larger paddler, a taller paddler. It'll also handle quite a bit of gear for your multi-day trips. Again, the best kayak as far as on the list, as far as your paddling goes, is probably going to be the Kiawa series. So again, if you're doing multi-mile trips, you're wanting to cover a tremendous amount of ground on calm flat water, again, pack a lunch. It's a lot more maneuverable than a lot of kayaks out there, but it's still not going to be that speedy boat because again, they focus a little bit more on the stability, but they don't sacrifice the maneuverability that you see in maybe the Outlaw. So that's it, guys, for the list. Honorable mention, so boats that may be just out of that price point, but still worth your time. The Falcon, native Falcon, again, that really nice seat. If you want the high-low seat on there, the Falcon retails at $1,049, so it's $50 above that, but you get a little bit more features on there. You get the track padding on the deck. You get a nice little transducer mount underneath the kayak, and you also get a little bit of a gear pod storage. Native includes the scupper plugs with this kayak just in the deck. You do have the same size scupper holes in the back, but those do not ship with it. A lot of times if you're storing gear in that back tank well, you don't want the scupper plugs in there because you don't want your gear sitting in a big pool of water. But really nice seat, a really nice maneuvering kayak as well. So it's an 11 foot, weighs 65 pounds, so it's still going to be a good throw and go fishing kayak. But again, just over that price point of $1,000 at $1,049. And then finally, my last honorable mention I'll say here, so the Tarpon series. So Wilderness Systems has been doing the Tarpon for many, many, many years. A lot of you are familiar with it. A lot of you, it might have been your first kayak, first quality kayak even. But the price point has kind of gone up over the last couple of years. So right now the MSRP on it is $1,119. So again, it's over that $1,000 price point. So that's why I didn't include it on the list, but still definitely one to consider if you're willing to spend maybe a little bit extra to get a really good maneuvering kayak and a really comfortable seat. They come with a lot of features now. So you got the little mesh cover that goes over the back tank well, a fully adjustable fixed position seat. So the lip of the seat moves up and down for support on the backs of your legs. The lumbar support moves up and down as well as forward and backward. It does come with a dry box that is waterproof. That's good for your phone, keys, and wallet. Got really nice, large, adjustable foot pegs, and it comes with a little drink strap. So that drink strap is magnetic. It sticks to that metal strip right here. You've still got plenty of accessory rails here. You got internal storage as well if you want to stuff some small dry bags in there. But again, the price of the Tarpon has seen some increases, and you've seen a lot of competition come in that same price point, even with Wilderness System. So Wilderness came out with the Targa 10 footer here last year. That boat's $9.99. A little bit more of a lounge kayak. It's the one that you've got the, we call it the mullet of kayaks, if you will. You know, business in the front with that really nice entry point there with that keel. And then party in the back. You got the little soft-sided cooler built into the back. But there's been a lot of kayaks come into the quality wreck kayak market at around that same price point. So the Tarpon has seen a drop over the last couple of years because of that, but it's still a quality kayak. If you guys are used to that Wilderness system seat, that thing is still money. It's still going to adjust. It's going to breathe really nicely. It's not going to hold in the moisture. You do have scupper holes underneath the seat, so water's not going to pool up in your seating position, but definitely check those out as well. But thank you again for watching, everybody. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you continue to enjoy our videos. If you do, don't forget to give us a like, give us a subscribe. Drop a comment down below if you think I may have left out a kayak. I'm sure there's one out there that I may have left out, but these are just kind of our top 5 kayaks in that price point. I could have done a much longer list and include much more stuff, but these are quality kayaks. They're going to last you as long as you want them to. The worst thing that's going to happen is maybe some bungee needs to be replaced or maybe a strap over time. But the whole of these boats, they're made with quality, high-density polyethylene. They're going to last you as long as you want them to. They can be welded, in a process we call plastic welding. So again, if you have any questions on these, don't forget to leave a comment. I'll get back to you guys as soon as possible. I usually get back to you within an hour or so. But thanks again for watching, guys, and we'll see you on the next one.